We are on. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 meeting of the Newton Select Board. We will open this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Once again, anybody that tries to get on Zoom, our forgiveness, please, we're still waiting for a part to come in so that we can get that module taken care of. So they're only going to be able to listen to the audio. There will be no visual. But this is going live. So first on the agenda is citizens' input. Anybody that would like to speak to anything that's on the agenda tonight? There being none. Michael, I believe you have something you'd like to say to
Yes,
us.
good evening. I'd like to take a moment to formally introduce our new town administrator, Paula Mahoney. We're excited to welcome her to our team and our community. Paula has a strong background in municipal finance and leadership, with over 24 years of experience in the finance sector, including 3 years specifically in municipal finance and managerial roles. She's quickly adapting to the town's operations and will be able to provide meaningful support and insights. Her extensive background will allow her to approach challenges with strategic mindset and contribute to the process improvements, financial analysis, and collaborative efforts that supports the town's fiscal goals. Paula has been working in the finance department since November to help facilitate the day-to-day operations and to bridge the gap between finance and the administrative office. We're confident that her leadership will be a great asset to our town. One of her key priorities in the coming months will be working in the finance department to help streamline the financial process, improve transparency, and ensure that we are using our resources efficiently and responsibly. With her guidance, we aim to strengthen our budgeting practices and long-term financial planning. Please take a moment and join me in the board in welcoming Paula as she steps into the important role that we're asking her to take. We look forward to the positive impact that she will bring to our operations and the community as a whole. Welcome, Paula.
I want to thank you all for the opportunity to work here for the town of Newton. I am very excited for this opportunity and to see where we can all go as a town and where we go from here.
Welcome.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should have stood.
Thank you.
All right. It's nice to have that position filled after some time. It'll help us continue to stay and get back on track where we need to be. Joe.
Yes, the Select Board would like to congratulate and thank Robert Zielinski, a.k.a. Ziggy, for 50 years of emergency service. He was unable to attend tonight, but when his schedule allows, he will attend a meeting to be formally recognized. I'd like to give a hand to Ziggy. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully we're trying to arrange when Robert, AKA Ziggy, can be here with us so that we can formally congratulate him and recognize him for all those wonderful years of service that he's dedicated his life to. And this town very much appreciates it. His service and his wonderful character. Police Department report, Rob?
So this month, our new part-time officer David Yulee is graduating from the part-time academy. That's going to be on Thursday, the 22nd at 2 p.m. He'll immediately be starting his field training program as soon as possible. I think he's going to do a great job. Dave Yulee's also a part-time firefighter in town, so he really is dedicated to the community. Just want to update you guys on a couple of things that have just happened in the last couple of weeks. On May 8th, Tibbetts and King drove down to Buzzards Bay, Mass. They arrested a woman on one of our warrants. She had committed several crimes against one of our residents in town. And she was being held for about a year. So it's a credit to our department and the guys for sticking with it, making sure that she didn't slip through the cracks. And we were willing to go and pick her up in Buzzards Bay to make sure we brought her to justice as she, faced her charges up here in New Hampshire. On the 16th, we arrested a man at the Exeter Hospital on an arrest warrant from the fire marshal's office and charged him with arson for that fire at 67 Smith Corner Road. This was a great team effort between PD, fire especially. I mean, that night, they made a great stop. That house fire could have been a total loss, and they made a great stop in limiting the damage and made sure that everybody got out safe. This particular person had some mental issues and was at Exeter Hospital, and in lieu of jail, being evaluated. And the fire marshal's office was there interviewing them for their arrest warrant and found that they were going to be released out into the public. So he called me immediately, and I was able to get up there in time to detain him and then arrest him and charge him with arson. So a big thanks to the fire marshal's office, because that could have been pretty bad for the particular person and for the public being released out into the street. Last month, we had Officer Tibbetts get certified in background investigation, and he also became a field training officer, which is key. It gives us another FTO to train our guys. He's going to be starting with David Yulee when he gets out of the academy. As far as the hiring process for any full-timers, we're still down 2 guys, and we're doing the best we can with the default budget. We're not going to be able to hire 2 people. But we are looking to hire at least 1 and try to get him on by the end of the year. He's a good candidate. He's going through the process right now, and hopefully if he gets through, I'll be coming back and asking the board to recommend him. And that's about it.
Any questions, gentlemen?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob. Appreciate it. All right. Trish, would you like to come up and talk about the Public Agency Committee?
Hi, everybody, and everyone in TV land. Okay, so we have the LPA, which is the local public agency that has been approved by Department of Transportation for a twin culvert grant that we've been working on. Robin and I are certified, well, we've been certifiable for a while, but we're certified for all the documents. I'm the contact person, and what I would like is, we made a motion on December 3rd of last year to have Dan be our approved signatory for this particular NHDOT grant. I'd like to make a motion, I'm going to read what you said in December, to authorize our new welcome aboard Town Administrator Paula Mahoney to sign the NHDOT documents on behalf of the town for the Twin Culvert Grant. So we did that back in December. For Dan, I would like to redo it for Paula. Robin and I and Mike Pavera will be going out for an RFQ, which is a request for qualification, to some engineers for this twin culvert. And when those documents come back in, we will review them, Paula, Robin, myself, Mike, and the selectmen, of course, to see where we stand and what we're going to do with that culvert. Paula, we went on a field trip today. Paula got to see it, so she knows what we're talking about. And that's going to be the first step in what we're going to do to try to fix that particular area in Newton. So,
Trish, if you have that document, I'll read it, I'll make the motion.
sure, I'll just give you what was done in December.
I'll just substitute the name.
It's in red, highlighted.
Okay,
Let her finish. Go ahead, Trish.
I think she's going on to something
Sorry,
else.
what?
Are you gonna go on to something else?
The only other thing, no, actually, let's do that.
So, based upon what Trish McCarthy has spoke to us about, I'd like to move to authorize the town administrator,
Paula Mahoney.
Paula Mahoney, to sign all New Hampshire DOT documents on behalf of the town for the Twin Culvert Grant.
Second.
Motion by Joe, seconded by Joe. All in favor? Aye. That would be unanimous.
Perfect, thank you. And
So
Paula,
Paula-
I'll send you all that stuff.
Paula gets to sign her life away on all of those forms now.
Okay. Do you want me to stay up here for the next item,
We
or?
most certainly do.
Okay. So, the ID policy, I sent you a draft. The current policy, I left it like it was. I took out some of the things that you might want to look at. Obviously, these are just suggestions. Adding some of the things, the policy back in the day when it was done in the 1800s, no, only kidding, but a long time ago, it basically kept saying Newton employees, employees, employees. I'm standing here, it's for our volunteers, really. So I didn't call them volunteers. I called them appointed personnel or appointed volunteers because I need it for the Conservation Commission. Rec can do their own thing, but we definitely need it for conservation. When we go out on site walks, although I've purchased vests for everybody, many times people say, well, who are you? And we have nothing to show them. I could make business cards, but it's so much easier if we had the lanyard or a clip, however we want to do it, so that we can say, hey, we're conservation, we're just doing a site walk. So the recommendation, some of the stuff that I sent you is mostly for conservation. Our EOC staff also have to have some kind of identification for security reasons. Homeland Security wants this. We kind of have put it off on the back burner. I make business cards, whatever I can make, or hello, my name is. It's really not professional when we're in a situation where we should be identified as town personnel instead of, I don't know, I'm on a field trip, here's my name, hello. So look at that policy. I also, and I had already bought one, I paid for one ID. I thought I'd have it by tonight. It's only a 5-day turnaround time, but maybe they meant 5 business days, not the weekend. And I sent it to Robin so that you could see it as an example of the EOC one. And it's only $4.08. It includes the plastic, badge, I'm gonna call it, picture, Newton logo, backside if found, return to this address, and it's with a lanyard or a clip, whichever you want, again, for $4.08. So I'm gonna do that unless you tell me not to do it, for at least my emergency staff, emergency EOC staff, and then you could look at the policy, and if it's okay, I'll have them printed up for the Conservation Commission and the Stewardship Commission. We often go out into the woods, some of you have been there, when we go on Hidden Acres on Thornell, and we go out back and have to walk the Goscora property. We are really in the middle of the wildlife out there. Granted, we put on our vests so we don't get shot, but when somebody approaches us, it would be nice to be able to say, hey, we're conservation. So kind of review that if you would, and we can
So,
just,
Mr. Aiello suggested to me earlier, and Rob, I'm gonna ask you, the PD has a machine that's capable of making up those, right?
no.
We actually outsource it now.
Oh, you outsource it now? Okay.
And I do have that information too. I got it from Katrina and Rob.
Yeah,
Fire chief.
okay.
I think the fire chief wanted,
Fire chief.
We're looking at a machine, we're working with Flagstaff Fire and Kingston Fire. That's one of the goals since, as of March 1st, having 24-hour coverage, having proper IDs for the members and not just one.
So we should look at this as a full town instead of different departments then, probably.
right, so to repeat what the fire chief said, he's also looking at the same thing with Plastow and Kingston?
Right, 'cause the fire side,
Right,
sure it's gonna be like the law enforcement side, fire side on the back has
Right.
credentials on it.
so that's just so everyone can hear what's saying.
It's gonna be a town employee.
Right.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah,
So we can work on it, but that's just the beginning, just so that you know. And again, the fire chief and I can work on it. Katrina gave me the information that they use at the police department. But we need to do something, certainly,
well.
at
it
least for
makes
certain
total sen-
departments.
It makes total sense.
Yeah, not for everyone. I know when we did that policy, which was, again, 800 years ago, they wanted everyone in town hall to where it was kind of silly. You go to the town clerk's office, there's signs, town clerk, town clerk. Oh, by the way, I'm the town clerk. So sometimes the policy was really ridiculous.
Right.
But in some cases, when we're at town events or we're out and about, it absolutely makes sense to identify us. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish.
Thanks, Trish.
Not only that, but it would help the public to be able to recognize and put people's names and faces together when they see everybody out in public, so that they can see everybody and what their roles are and what they're doing and participating in. All right, with that being said, we are going to skip the computer electronic segment tonight because Mr. Guide is not here. He has an excused absence, and he is taking the lead on that. So we're going to hold off on that until our next meeting. And Joe, you want to take care of the warrant?
Yeah, good. I move to sign the tax bill warrant for the first half of the tax year 2025.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. So people, your property taxes will be coming out shortly. So they should be going to your mortgage company or to you if you don't have a mortgage company
Escrow.
that takes care of your taxes,
Escrow account.
escrow account.
Bills go to the property owner. They go to the property owner always. Even if you have your money escrow, the bills go to the property owner. So everybody should be expecting a bill.
The next one.
Consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second that.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Joe. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And action items. Before we get on to that, Chief, is there anything that you wanted to discuss tonight?
I have my monthly, but we're gonna put it on the agenda for selectmen's June
Okay.
meeting when we do the step increases.
Very good.
That's all right with the board. I'll do May and April at the same time.
Yep, good. Sam, you good? Okay. I just wanted to check and make sure. All right, so action items, new and old business. So there was a House bill that's going up, I believe, Charlie, it's Thursday, that they were gonna vote on Bill 475, that they're bouncing around. The selectmen I came up with a letter that I put out to the selectmen. Essentially what the House Bill 475, what they're talking about doing is exactly what took place in this town. If you have a department head, such as a town administrator or a financial person, and that spot is vacant for the year, they want the towns to withdraw that salary from their budget, which by in all intents and purposes, would actually cripple a town, because you look at, when we do our budgets, each year we have a default budget, but the new budget always increases because of salaries and other miscellaneous things that creep in. So if you take an additional, which the salaries these days could be significant, i.e. a town administrator or somebody, that's another $100,000 that you're gonna add back onto that budget. And a lot of townsfolk aren't gonna be able to, they won't look at it as because you're hiring. They're just looking at the bottom line, that their tax bill is going to increase dramatically, as opposed to if they just approve the default budget. And because of that, and also if you tried to hire somebody in the middle of the year to perform that job and you've withdrawn that money, you don't have money in your budget to be able to do so. Then that creates a huge predicament for a town. So I put forth a letter for the selectmen to sign stating that we oppose that bill and that we believe that it should be, what did I say, tabled, re-referred, or deemed inexpedient to legislate, because it makes absolutely no sense, and that it's just a matter of the towns where we know what's best. And not only that, but the other issue is that these days, what we've come across and had a hard time is trying to find somebody that wants to be involved in government roles, in jobs, is getting harder and harder to do so. So we totally opposed that bill for all of those reasons. And we want to send that off tomorrow. And I just wanted to talk about that and the importance of it, because the other issue that I brought up with is, even though that money stays in the budget, it ends up going to the unassigned fund balance at the end of the year. So if your selectmen are doing their job properly, that money isn't being taken away from the taxpayers, because, i.e., as we did last year, we're gonna take that money and we're gonna end up using it to lower the tax rate, so the taxpayers still get that break on their taxes, or the money ends up being used for some of the warrant articles, which is the same thing. It's a less of a tax burden on the public for doing so. But again, it keeps the money on the books, which makes it a lot easier to be able to fill those positions, and not even harder, just, let alone trying to find somebody to fill the position. So that's all I want to say about that. And Joe, did you want to talk about the Greenie Field?
Yes, we have a situation.
Comment, though?
Yep.
So this bill is fiscally irresponsible for a town, very fiscally irresponsible. And the one thing that legislation I don't think understands, if this was to go away, when we have moved on from our former chief of police, or when we had a vacancy, we had to spend some money to keep this town going. If those funds go away for the next year, then all of a sudden we start shutting things down and you start going away from your town. So for somebody not to connect the dots from a P&L standpoint and how a P&L is run at the legislation level, that scares me. So this has to be pushed back, because if you've never run a P&L and had to stay within a budget, this bill will hurt towns. Not this town, right? Let's hope. But towns that aren't run as well, because they won't even think about this stuff. You need to think fiscally responsible P&L management, and that's what this really is. Sorry, I just had to
Nope,
get
that's
that
all
out.
right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your input. Go ahead, Joe.
We've had a situation at Greenie Park where we redid two of the fields, the softball field and the Major Little League field last year. Unfortunately, we've had some germination take place in the grass in the infield, which needs to be taken care of, because if it doesn't, we'll just have the same situation we did before. So we did get a price from our landscaper to do 4 treatments, and the price totals, let's see, $1,905. And basically, it's to remediate the grass that is growing in Enfield. They're probably going to treat it chemically to do it. Well, that's all well and good. I think what we should do is we should have our maintenance person do it, because he can get out there with a sprayer just as well as someone who's contracted to do it for a lot less money. And whereas we're in a default budget right now, I think that's the prudent way to do it at this point in time.
Well, I think we can discuss it, and we can also bring him in and talk to him about it
Excuse me.
before we make any decisions on that. Anybody else? As far as that goes? I feel as though we should ask him for his input too, you know what I mean? And not just force something like that on him.
No, I spoke to him about it. He said he can do it because he's done landscaping before, so he's capable of doing it. He has equipment to do
All
it.
right, good. All right, so we'll touch base on that. And postage meter was brought to my attention, or our attention, that Mary Jo tried to use the machine, and it only accepts one letter at a time to put a stamp on it, to mail it. I was under the impression that it was a machine to where you could just put a stack of letters or mail or whatever it is, envelopes that would feed in and then do a multiple stamping, which it's not. So for Mary Jo, when it comes time to, i.e. the taxes or any other multi-mailing that needs to take place from town hall, we really need a machine to where they can put stacks in, and somebody doesn't have to stand there for hours on end feeding one envelope at a time. So I myself think it only makes sense to upgrade the machine, to which Mary Jo talked to the gentleman about, to where they'll take the old one in and then give us a new machine. It costs a little bit more money, but it's well worth it.
So I have some questions on this.
Yep.
Is this $208 on top of the original 70? Or is this, we getting rid of the original 70 and it's gonna be 208?
That's going to be the price. The 70 is not on top of that. What he's did is he's recalculated, taking the old machine, giving us the new machine with the new contract, and then that's what the price would come out to.
So my second question would be, did we pick this machine?
Huh?
Did we pick the machine that's downstairs that we don't like?
I'm not sure who picked,
I picked the machine. I wasn't aware that we needed multiple,
You need a feeder.
yeah, I wasn't aware. The machine was discussed when it was constructed.
Yep.
yeah.
Because it's more than double a month.
The original motion was under 100, so
Under what?
100.
Under 100 a month.
Yes, contract.
So now we're going up to 208.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that it didn't have the capabilities.
And we made that motion before we went into default budget.
None of us were aware it wouldn't do that. We all thought it would do it.
So,
Even Trish thought it was gonna do, multi-staff, we all thought so.
So you're talking an increase of $130.
right. But like I said, we made the original motion when we weren't in a default budget. Now we are in a default budget. I was just wondering how many, because is it just twice a year that we do this for the 2 tax bills?
MJ, you do, it's more than just the tax bills.
It's registrations, or Tony, you might, Monday mornings, we're gonna be mailing out like 50 envelopes, and we're standing there. One, two.
And then there are,
The transfer station vouchers, the voter's guide, anything like that, any mass changes that the select board wants to make. The planning board, all of their butter notifications, et cetera, nobody's here.
You don't want anything.
Well, the butter notifications is different anyways. Yeah.
And even though we only use it like twice a year, It was supposed to go in flow with the folding stuffing machine. It's supposed to streamline the entire
Right.
tax bill.
Right.
So I didn't buy stamped envelopes this year. I had to buy special envelopes for the folding stuffing machine, so we're not sitting there folding and stuffing the tax bill.
Do you have this in your budget?
Do I have that? Most likely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, not only that, but when it comes time for voting, when we have to send out all that stuff too. So it would definitely, yeah.
I would rather see productivity.
Right.
And let them get some of this off their
Right,
plates.
rather than standing around.
No, I just had questions, that's all.
So with that said, I believe a motion is in order.
You gonna make it?
You gonna make it?
I'd like to make a motion to allow the town clerk to enter into agreement to lease the new machine at the rate of $208.60 per month.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
MJ, you're all set.
MJ, question, MJ, question?
MJ?
Any idea what the turnaround time
what I
is
was
for
just
them
gonna
to install this machine?
I am going to let him know tomorrow. I would really like it by the weekend so I can do the tax bills.
They could probably do that,
But
probably,
I
yeah.
will email him tomorrow, let him know that you guys have approved that.
All
Awesome.
right, thank you.
And he's probably going to give me paperwork. I don't, was what I sent you, were those invoices or anything, or they just quotes?
I think they were quotes.
I'll get you the invoices.
Okay, good deal.
Second question, is it gonna fit on that table?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Well, it looked like it was wider.
It just has a bigger, it has a thing to put your, make one
Alright.
on one end, yeah. Cause Tony said they use the same one in Rye, and I believe that would, she said it would fit there. It will fit.
All right. Yeah, see, it
Oh,
looked,
no, we just
It's-
move the
Don't
copy
break it.
machine.
You can make it fit, don't break it.
All right, and of course, Monday is Memorial Day, so Town Hall will be closed. We will be having the parade, right?
Yeah, the parade will be starting, kicking off at the safety complex at 10 o'clock. And we've asked all participants to be there no later than 9:30. And we will have some refreshments available for them. And the parade will make its, the route is, it's online, but it'll make its route to the way to the Willow Brook Cemetery, and at which time we'll have a ceremony there. So we invite any organization that wants to march in the parade or ride in the parade, please do so, and we invite all the veterans. We've sent out invitations to all the veterans in town that we have on our assessors list, so we invite everybody to participate.
And all the residents, when they hear the sirens going or whatever, to come out and to be able to wave and acknowledge the veterans that are in the parade, and have some, maybe even do a little prayer as they go by for those that have fallen.
Yep.
Because that's what the day is for. In remembrance of those who have given their lives to the call of duty for the United States of America, for our freedom. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
Motion to adjourn is in order?
second.
We will adjourn at 6:33.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys.